Momen hara nita sahilersen bombal hoyen. Odot kidok fatsa agethatska. Yahayoin nagafti. Chimadot kidan agethajet sok fats faji biari kon chihoma huiten does. Ahaga hutchidon. Momen Mikodat. Isti Muscogee merot kida. Sok fat vejia. Okit kitchede dondos. Ahagada magidondo. To our Muscogee citizens, Second Chief Hicks, Speaker Yahola, Second Chief Huff, Second Speaker Huff, got you promotion. Members of the National Council, Justices of Supreme Court, Judges of our District Court, our relatives, friends, and honored guests. The Muscogee Way is a very sacred theme that has served this administration and is paramount in respecting the ways of our elders, our tradition and culture, the ways our children and generations that will follow are what is considered our way. That we always honor those ways is our will and desire, and this state of the nation represents the strides we have made to assure our continuation of the Muscogee Way. The purpose this morning is to report to you in the state of the nation as mandated by the Constitution of the Great Muscogee Creek Nation. Our progress and success over this past calendar year with the support of our National Council. We made a commitment to our citizens that we would be aggressive and progressive, and that status quo is no longer acceptable. I have heard from hundreds of citizens, near and far, who are excited in the accomplishments of this nation. We have continued to use the dominant themes of peoplehood and nationhood to achieve success as a self-sufficient tribal sovereign. It is a fact this administration, the previous and current legislature, has exercised sovereignty to its fullest with initiatives implemented to improve and expand services to the tribal citizens that we all share. This morning, my State of the Nation will be very simple. The emphasis was to use our resources, our most valuable resource, and that's our citizens, our employees, the financial means, and working in a unified effort as elected officials to invest in ourselves as a nation. The Muscogee Creek Nation is strong as ever. Prior to coming into office, I commissioned a survey. It reflected citizens wanted and needed expanded health care. The former Muscogee Memorial Hospital was purchased by assuming its debt of more than $5 million. No funds was appropriated by this council. No funds came from the treasurer of this great nation. Today, I'm pleased to report the assumed debt in just 11 months now stands at less than $70,000. Whether we want to accept it or not as tribal government, we're a business. Historically, as Muscogee Creek Nation, we've been successful in business. We're corporate. We're almost, just a little over, I should say, a $500 million corporation. We just happen to be a tribal government. In our health care, we're providing much needed and expanded health care to all of our citizens. The former George Nye Physical Rehab Center, one of the best in the country, was purchased through investments funds that was saved from third-party collections, not from the Muscogee Creek Nation Treasury. That is how we were able to purchase that facility. A new express care clinic was opened in Muscogee, the very first tribally owned and operated dialysis center. Began operations at the Coweta Clinic. And our plans is to add others to our centers as we update those facilities. The very first MRI unit is being completed here in Muscogee. A service at one time that was contracted out will now allow savings of those funds to be used within our health system. The installation of electronic health record for hospitals and clinics that puts us in compliance with the mandated policy for all hospitals and clinics throughout the country. A home health program has been required. We purchased a DME for easier access to supplies for our citizens. Increased third-party collections this year was $22 million. The goal next year is 25 to 30 million. The addition of additional services such as a chiropractor, an orthopedic, a surgeon, 2 full-time podiatrists, wound care program, an orthodontist, and currently negotiations are going on for oral surgeon and pediatric dentists. We just recently acquired accreditation for the Okemah Hospital and waiting to receive accreditation for our clinics. We just finalized funding for the new hospital in Okemah and the new Eufaula Clinic. That clinic in Eufaula is a joint venture with Indian Health Service, and we anticipate breaking ground in the next 2 months for that facility. And with these success stories, the Muscogee Creek Nation, I believe, has an excellent start in achieving the wishes of our citizens, and that is improving and expanding our health services. In the Department of Interior Affairs, Realty Trust Service processed 64 acres of land from fee to trust status, further enhancing our sovereignty and jurisdiction. With the nation's lobbyists working with the nation's lobbyists and approvals granted on 38 of 64 pending applications with 12 to 15 additional parcels scheduled for approval. Oil and Gas negotiated and executed a oil and gas agreement. Very historic. That's a first since 1898 and surpassing previous federal standards and benefits to this Muscogee Creek Nation. Muscogee Creek Nation has a Conservation Commission, and recently they signed a memorandum of agreement with the United States Department of Agriculture to better serve restricted landowners and put allotted lands back into production. This essentially creates direct funding opportunities for various programs that will aid our Muscogee landowners. Our federal roads program has constructed, reconstructed, and surfaced 56 miles of road. That's a total of value of $4.6 million on these projects. Last year, the program was awarded the best asphalt road for the old Highway 62 project by the Oklahoma Asphalt Pavement Association. A long-range transportation plan was completed in April of last year. This document will guide current and future road projects within the 11-county jurisdiction. We dedicated a new transportation building that offices our Tribal Transit Program Manager, Federal Roads and Transportation. We dedicated, and some of you were there, the Okemah Pedestrian Bridge, a collaborative effort with the City of Okemah, with Okfuskee County and Oklahoma Department of Transportation. Environmental Services. As you know, I always say, as Indian people, we were original environmentalists. We have a good program. They continue to provide the ability or be a resource for recycled material. In the last year, they were able to recycle from anywhere 70 to 100,000 pounds of material. They do the water quality testing for all of our water resources. Tribal Construction Services was directly involved in construction and completion of 11 of our buildings, adding to the nation's infrastructure and capacity. Also created an apprenticeship program with housing and TERO to build a capacity of the industry needed workforce. More tribal members will have greater opportunities in the construction field after completing the apprenticeship training program. In cultural preservation, they employed its first ever tribal archaeologist, who's a U.S. Department of Interior qualified and specialized in Southeast archaeological studies and practice. The department also presented the second Muscogee History Symposium with over 100 in attendance. Those are very important. And they're actively repatriating culturally affiliated human remains and funerary objects extracted from the Muscogee National Monument located at the Smithsonian National Museum of Natural History and the National Park Service facility in Florida. Under the Office of Administration, we've been very aggressive about strategic planning. They have sponsored over a 2-month period with over 100 of our tribal stakeholders, that's you, our tribal citizens and employees and elected officials, in participating. The Office of Administration has oversight of all the programs. They monitor and update policies to reflect the growth of the last 3 years. Expanding the use of IT tools such as Laserfish software application and paperless management systems. 2 weeks ago, the Muscogee Creek Nation was awarded the Run Smarter Award for exceptional use of Laserfish to reach new heights of efficiency and productivity by implementing the new paperless system. This is the first time this award has ever been presented to a tribal government. Historically, it's been exclusively awarded to Fortune 500 or Fortune 1000 companies, and that's another first for the Muscogee Creek Nation. Muscogee History class, or course, is offered for all of our employees. And it helps evaluate knowledge and awareness of the history of Muscogee Creek Nation. I've always felt that if our employees don't know about who they work for, they needed to know. And I'm pleased to report 1,000 of our employees have completed the course, and I challenge those other entities to do the same, whether it's gaming or MNBE or OneFire, that your employees need to know who they work for. And that's a challenge that I give to you today. The Department of Commerce fosters, promotes, and develops commerce in and outside of the nation to strengthen the regional economy. The Secretary of the Nation has filed articles of organization for 16 limited liability companies pursuant to provisions of the Muscogee Creek Nation Limited Liability Company Act. One nonprofit files of articles of organization has been filed. There are others. 2 Uniform Commercial Code transactions were filed under Title 33 Code. And Compressed Natural Gas Program fostered an agreement with a third-party company with the intent to utilize the Oklahoma State tax credits to help finance the infrastructure for compressed natural gas at the Muscogee Travel Plaza. I never thought I would say that. For too long, for much too long, the state of Oklahoma and tribal governments We're always at odds. But I believe that we've taken a great step, a great stride in closing those gaps. And I believe Governor Henry would have to agree with me that those days are in the past, that those days taught us a valuable lesson, that regardless of what tribe we may come from, we're the original Oklahomans. We have a stake in this state too. And I never thought I would say that we're going to be seeking Oklahoma State credits for us to be able to do business. And I think that it deserves a long round of applause. We're going to utilize a third-party company to construct a CNG station infrastructure, including the Oklahoma Natural Gas Company pipeline extension. Incorporate CNG into travel plaza operations under travel plaza management. I'm very proud of the Community Development Financial Institution, the CDFI that we started. Has total dollars loaned by the Muscogee Loan Fund in the amount of $363,000 that created 58 jobs. And that averages out one job per $6,200 loan. I'll give you this story. A disabled veteran came to Commerce to build his credit and to get a loan for his business. He was awarded a loan and now has a successful business due to this wonderful resource that we have. Grants totaling over $1.2 million have been procured, and program was awarded CDFI certification from the U.S. Department of Treasury this past fall. And we have 186 online classroom participants for the CDFI program. The Muscogee Creek Nation Small Business Center, since its inception, has counseled more than 150 Creek citizens in the past year, with 20 starting their own business. There were 85 jobs created and retained by these business startups. The center continues to provide technical assistance and provide presentation in behalf of the nation. As you know, it's well documented that this country, America, has built and was built on the basis that small business is the emphasis for the success, and it's still that way today. I'm pleased that we have a small business development center that allows for our citizens to be able to start their business. In housing, we continue to provide decent, safe housing while building stronger and healthier communities for low-income participants in the tribal jurisdiction. There are approximately 85 families that average 4 in each family that were provided housing in the last year. Programs include the development or new construction, mortgage assistance program, acquisition, and alternative housing. That department operates and manages 6 rental apartment complexes with a total of 368 units. And that averages out overall of 88% occupancy. One of the things that we really must consider as elected officials is we have a lot of homeless people. And in this calendar year, I've challenged my staff to bring to you for consideration on how we can help develop a homeless shelter in some manner. There are currently 1,050 home buyers in the department's inventory. Due to legislation that passed recently, the department is aggressively pursuing 184 loan financing to address the waiting list. One of the things that they did is they took on a role of general contractor for new construction homes. Subcontracting was as needed in buying the materials. That's a savings of anywhere from 7 to 10% in cost of building a home. Prior to us coming in, there was an average of $150,000 per home. And because some of the efforts that we've done, we've knocked that down to $125,000. That's a savings. Those savings add up so that we can build more homes. Today's housing department reflects an increase in productivity by implementing new initiatives. An apprentice program in collaboration with Tribal Construction, Employment and Training, and TERO is proving to be successful in providing training for that industry. One of the initiatives that we'll be bringing to this council is a elderly rental subsidy program. We plan to present that to you in the form of our 2015 Indian Housing Plan to address the needs of citizens on a fixed income. The Muscogee Nation Business Enterprise currently employs 43 of our citizens. Muscogee International LLC, or MI, was planned and financed and implemented with the assistance of an MNBE. It's an SBA 8A certified company. MNBE just completed 5 years of work in Afghanistan and developed a nation-to-nation relationship with the Miami Nation of Oklahoma through Miami Business Services to pursue contract opportunities. Again, not only here at Creek Nation that we help each other, we are able to reach out to other tribes so we can help each other. The Department of Education and Training, a number of initiatives were started in 2014, such as VOPBAL program, literacy, a CELUS learning system, a tutorial program for our students at Eufaula Dorm, Muscogee language apps for iPhone and Android devices, audiobooks for literacy program, Head Start, daycare, and adult language classes. Higher education is providing student debit cards for the first time in the history of this nation. A student will be able to use a debit card, and when they arrive on campus, they'll have their monies with them. In the past, we've always had problems in meeting the deadlines. No more. JOM continues a very popular challenge bowl using tablets now, and also advanced placement incentives. Employment and training is collaborating with the apprentice program with housing, TERO. And I keep saying it because in-house, we have to help each other. That is a great program. And I believe our tribal construction, Mr. will see the importance of why we do this. There is a need for our citizens to be in that industry. GED classes are still being offered. A career assessment center and monthly workshop is being offered as well. Our Higher Education Scholarship Foundation recently held an activity for the purpose of raising funds. Initiating a workplace giving program and a direct mailing campaign is on our list. In the short time the foundation has been in existence, it's raised over $400,000 and presented numerous scholarships. That's in addition to what we do with BIA and what we do with our higher ed scholarships. More students are now getting help than ever to attain higher education, even those that are pursuing their doctoral programs. That deserves a round of applause too. The Head Start program collaborated with Stidham, Henrietta, and Durr schools and introduced MYON to Head Start centers. The Reintegration program received a national award for Outstanding Criminal Justice Tribal Program by the National Criminal Justice Association. They just received a CTAS Purpose Area 3 grant, very important. And they're in process of finalizing plans for that new transitional living facility. They've opened up a store where donated clothing, furniture, living and household items can be repurposed for those in need. We have, I believe, the best reintegration program in the country. They also assisted 125 children with toys and supplies from their annual toy drive and chili cook-off. Served 113 clients in areas of housing, groceries, clothing, drug and alcohol assessment, treatment, driver's license reinstatement, household items, utilities, transportation, court advocacy, and job placement. They too have been involved with construction projects by providing jobs. TERO is certainly a new program. It's a change. Sometimes change has to be challenged, and we realize that. But TERO is a good program. My friend Chief Baker can tell you it's a good program. It provides for the opportunities for our citizens to have work, to have jobs. In a short time, the program has certified 144 Native-owned businesses, with 44 being Creek-owned. That's a new program that has a great future, a bright future. Gaming continues to be the financial strength through the distributions to the nation and allows for many of the service activities of the nation to exist. Gaming had an increase of $7 million, or 2.3%, over fiscal year 13. Operating expenses saw a decrease of $3 million over the previous year and increased labor efficiency and food cost margins. Distribution increased by $5.1 million over the previous year. There are a number of remodels at River Spirit and the addition of Johnny Rockets, a private gaming venue for our best customers, which is the only one of its kind in the Tulsa area. Sorry, Chief Baker. The Muscogee Casino had a grand opening for their remodel and expansion in April. One Fire Casino in Muscogee got approval for sports bar construction and gaming expansion. Bristow, Shakota, Eufaula, and Okima are currently being considered for expansion or remodel. Tribal employment is a priority at the casinos, with emphasis on our tribal citizens. Citizen employment increased from prior year. That's a good stat. Majority of general managers at the casinos are citizens of this great nation. When we came in as administration, we knew that we needed to have a source as a holding company to do business, to keep politics out of it. One Fire Holding Company last year, with the change in leadership, built a leadership team and developed guiding policies and procedures. Developed a thorough investment evaluation process and reviewed over 50+ investment opportunities. They established a transparent financial reporting and communications with stakeholders. It's closed and invested over $7 million in impactful projects that are performing as expected and beginning to employ citizens. The major accomplishment was securing an anchor tenant for Riverwalk Crossing. That, in turn, is attracting interest from dozens of potential tenants. We began transfers of the SIPS plant to a for-profit business entity. And the report says that the transition is going well. Department of Community and Human Services officially opened the WIC program in their new building in August of last year. Since its opening, participation has increased by 4%. TANF has been approved for an additional 3 years, issued by the Department of Health and Human Services and Office of Children and Family Services. They've opened a satellite office in Jinx as a central location for citizens living in the northern region of the jurisdiction. Family violence programs, victim advocates, Mitzi Pope and Tina Qualls, can proudly say they're the first tribal program advocates to be awarded the Oklahoma Victim Advocate of the Year. And that deserves a round of applause. Family Violence Prevention Program was awarded 3 grants totaling more than $1.2 million. Our child care hosted Cultural Day and had over 1,000 guests attend from 29 schools. That's the largest ever. The Director of Child Care Service, serves on the board of National Indian Child Care Association. Community Research and Development produced the first edition of the National Resource Directory for the nation. That's a publication that's very popular. It also launched text message and mobile alert service to communities and citizens. Last year, groundbreaking was held for a new food distribution center in Coweta, and the anticipation is growing for participants of that program in that area for its opening. Our Social Security Assistance Program is busy as it's increased its participation and allowed staff to increase from 1 to 4. The Youth Services Program, investing in our Muscogee youth, started in November. And I said this before, we do a great job as a nation to make sure that our elders are taken care of and those that are in Head Start, but we forget about that at-risk age. With this program, we see some great things coming down the pipe. It's currently working with the citizens of the nation to determine needs of our youth, ages from 12 to 24, that at-risk age, to create new programs and services. Foster care and adoption has seen response to its application and increased its numbers by 50% since January of last year. The Department of Community and Human Services initiated first listening meetings throughout the Creek Nation last year. Sessions were a success as citizens were able to express their concerns with my office and my cabinet. Some of our independent agencies, like the Citizenship Office, in February, they were notified the Oklahoma Bureau of Narcotics approved new citizenship ID for use at pharmacies. Since its inception in 2004, with only 2 courses and 27 students, the College of Muscogee now offers 52 classes with 189 students. Campus now includes a location for students and faculty staff to support co-curricular activities, learning, and services in the new Student Center. The center features the Muscogee language, an inspiring cultural graphic that depict a removal from the homelands, location of tribal towns, and the Treaty of 1832. 77% of surveyed graduates report working for tribal governments or enterprises. Of the 189 students, 87 are citizens, and among the 159 graduates, many have expressed an appreciation for receiving a culturally focused education. Our citizens come to the council members with their concerns and their issues. They come to my office as well. And the question they have is where we are as a nation in our responsibility with their finances. I believe that this administration has gone beyond any other administration of the past in being transparent. Until this administration came in, there was no annual report. There was no semi-annual report. Much of the success that I've shared with you this morning has been in context, such as transparency, going paperless, tremendous savings in all facets of our operation. There have been a lot of firsts and recognition given to the Muscogee Creek Nation on its accomplishments on a local, state, and national levels. This nation will continue to seek economic development and improve services and programs. These accomplishments came to fruition because of the ability to work hand in hand, together, all of us. Traditionally, culturally, it's the Muscogee way. The future of our nation is bright. Progress should never be delayed. When progress is delayed, history is delayed. In closing, the Muscogee way has never failed us. We gain strength from those before us who set the foundation for future generations. Now, those of us who lead this nation must continue the journey for our following generations. The oath we took as elected officials to uphold our Constitution remains as solid as ever. It directs our journey and continues to serve as a pillar for our government. While 2014 was a great progressive year, there were challenges as well. Other challenges lie before us. With each new challenge, this nation has a proven record that we overcome them by working in a unified manner. In 2014, some of us, as elected officials, were able to return to the homelands of our ancestors to pay homage to those who fought and gave the ultimate sacrifice for our rights as Muscogee. Our language, our tradition, and culture no longer exist there. Our traditional church hymns and ceremonial songs echoed off the tall, long-leaf pine trees at Horseshoe Bend. And it was described by a tribal member how the trees seemed to sway to the beautiful rhythms and songs. Just as it did for our forefathers, adversity strengthens us. But more importantly, unity solidifies us. Their spirits and the spirit of those who served in the House of Kings and House of Warriors still stand with us today. On a return trip from our homelands, we brought some of our forefathers, foremothers, and children home with us. Some of you that took pictures, you know what I'm talking about. And some of the pictures that were taken, there were images of our warriors from Horseshoe Bend. There were images of those women that stood beside those warriors. And there were images of those children that didn't know what was held for them in the future. We pay homage to them by continuing their vision with our display of unity and setting the foundation for future generations. Moment, okay, kitskada. Isti Muscogee madot kita okfatsan, okay keja. Agitetska oja. Pajologidat. Ai mangachi. Ai mangachi. Not my hogas. Snunkles. Ai mangachi. Our elders used to say that all of us, individually, as elected officials, collectively, as elected officials, we're going to be challenged every day. But those old ones used to say, keep on going. Keep on going. The Utes have a beautiful song they sing. And that's what they say. Don't look back. Just keep going. Just keep going. I look forward in this calendar year to continue the progress as a nation, as elected officials, because our future is bright. May God bless America. May God bless the state of Oklahoma. And may a sovereign God continue to bless the sovereign Muscogee Creek Nation. Thank you.